Welcome back to another lesson of East Main 101. I am your facilitator, City of Jackson Communications Director Kenneth Cummings. And for lesson 30, I am joined with City of Jackson's Risk Management Claims Manager, Melissa Gordon. Melissa.
Hello, Kenny.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I know we often have talks in your office just to vent and get stuff out. It's almost like a therapy session just to talk about stuff. But
that's me, the therapist.
I'm glad to have you on East Main 101. Thank you for being here. And we're just going to talk.
Okay.
Let's talk about your role and what you do. Good. So first off, Melissa Gordon. Who is Melissa Gordon? What is, tell us, family, life, all that good stuff.
Busy like everybody else, family, kids, grandkids, and, then, get some work in there, and it's a full life. So
you're from Jackson? Or?
I'm from Lexington.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And went to school at Lexington High School. Mm-hmm.
So what brought you to Jackson, Tennessee?
My job.
Okay.
So
according to your bio, you've been here for 20 years at the City of Jackson.
I have.
And for 20 years, I mean, it's 20 years. I'm not going to say what I had in my mind. It's a long time. That's 20 years.
It is a long time. But it doesn't seem like it's been 20 years.
So how does it feel like it's gone fast?
It's gone really fast. It has. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed, the people in Jackson, the city, and it has. It's went by really fast, and it's something, with my job, it's something new every day. So it's not going to be the same old, same old.
And so 20 years, you've been under 3 mayors?
This is my third mayor.
Third administration,
Mm-hmm.
3 administrations.
Mm-hmm.
So in those 20 years, I guess, what's changed in your role? And we're going to get into what you do for the city,
Mm-hmm.
but what's changed in your role?
Well, I would say that, claims have changed. Whenever I first started, there probably wasn't as many people, in the city, not as many cars on the roads. Our roads, as everybody else's, things, over time, you have to do things to maintain and whatnot. So, I've seen a lot of changes there. And so that has a lot to do with, my job, I guess, as far as like the claims and stuff like that. So.
And I guess the processes, technology has changed.
It has. Over the years, the departments have got to upgrade equipment and got, better stuff. And they've come out with new stuff that, we didn't have 20 years ago. So that's made a big difference.
So back to just personal life, from Lexington, Tennessee. So was Jackson the big city? I know a lot of people always talk about how.
Yes, it was always, come to, on the weekends, let's go to Jackson, go to the malls, service merchandise, all those places, that was the go-to if you wanted to Christmas shop, things like that.
So I guess before working for the city, where were you prior to?
I worked at the Mile and Arsenal. That's where I met my husband, and I worked at the Mile and Arsenal, and then I went into like the restaurant business and tried that. I did that for about 10 years.
As sales, what?
Like area manager.
Okay.
So yeah.
What restaurant?
I did the Long John Silver's and A&W restaurants.
Oh, wow. So what brought you out of that? What made you want to switch?
I told him
this is a big change.
And I told him that about 10 years is all I could do in the restaurant business, and that's about what I did. So it's just very demanding, and you had to travel a lot and stuff too. So
now, was that like a regional thing that you did?
Like an area. Mm-hmm.
And at the time, did you enjoy it?
I think I did for a while, but then it got to where it was just very demanding. Physically and mentally. So
you met your husband at the Mile and Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Children, grandkids?
I've got a son and a daughter. Of course, they're both grown. And then I have 2 grandchildren, 2 grandsons. One is 2 years old, and then one just turned 18 over the weekend.
Oh, You got a grown grandkid.
I do.
So how is that life as mom, grandma?
It's great. I love my kids, and I do anything in the world for them. So it's just something every day that somebody's got come up. Hey Nana, can you do this? Mm-hmm. Hey Nana, what do you think about this? And I love it when they come and ask me for my advice and stuff. So that makes me
the kids or the grandkids?
Both.
I mean, as I've heard, I just became a dad recently, about to be a dad of 2. So I've heard that, it's good being a parent, but just wait till you become a grandparent. I'm like, give me time.
Exactly.
But I've heard being a grandparent is just one of the best things in life.
It is. You think that you cannot love another person like you do your child, but then when the grandkids come along, you realize, that they're just like your kids, and you would never. Nobody could convince you of that, but it really is true. I mean, they just, you just feel like those are your kids too. So.
But the joke is, you can give them back.
You can give them back. So.
Give them back to their parents.
Yes.
So, claims manager and risk manager. First of all, risk management department. We'll have Stacy on at some point. What does risk management entail? What all do you all do?
Well, risk management, we do wear a lot of different hats. We have the health insurance, and the dental and vision. We implement all those, long-term disability, the life insurance, all of that comes out of our office. Then we also, the on-the-job injuries, that comes to our office. Safety training, and then, of course, the claims part of it, so... it's a lot of different hats we have to, wear. And then we all have to be somewhat cross-trained to where if one's not there, another one can step in. So it's quite a bit.
So for yours, you mostly, the other employees in that department kind of handle a lot of the internal employee relations with that. But yours kind of steps into the realm of the public.
It does, yes.
Just talk about your role as the claims manager.
Well, as the claims manager, I handle like the general liability claims and the property damage claims, the auto liability claims, lawsuits, things like that. So with the property damage, anytime that we have a city building that has, whether it's been weather related, hot water heater bust, whatever that is, I mean, I have to go and deal with that, and do like insurance recovery because we have our facilities insured. So I've got to go and, see about all of that. And then with auto claims, that's just standard. I'm going to have to see, get police reports, find out, whose fault it is. And either, I get, the city's car fixed or I fix, a citizen's car. One of the two is going to happen there. So, and then I have the calls where the citizens, I do the potholes, slip and fall, at a city facility, venue, something like that. So I have that as well. Or if citizens, just want to call and tell me about something that's unsafe in the city. So, and then at that point, I go and I find out what they're talking about and, go to whatever department I think can help me with, getting that resolved.
So you actually do have more citizens calling you than anybody else, of course, in that department. Talk about some of the calls, if you can, that you get. You mentioned slip and falls and things that happen inside of our venues. We
do. And sometimes it's just a simple, slip and fall. There was nothing negligent that the city did and all that. But, we still have to address that and look at it and make sure that, what we have is, safe and intact and all that. So it calls for what you call an investigation. The city employee will send me what they call an accident incident form, and so I'll look that over, and we'll find out, what happened, take pictures of wherever it was they fell, just to be sure that, we've got everything in line. So.
And so there's a portion on the risk management page. I'm not sure it's a form or just kind of legal talk. It's an acronym TFLA. Just what exactly, if they go to the website and they see that, what exactly is that?
The Tort Liability Act, it's been in place, I think, since maybe 1973. Okay. And so that's a way that the city is protected. For instance, like, say, the potholes. We can't be responsible for every pothole in Jackson. Things are going to happen. And so that's just a way of protecting us. So in most cases with a pothole, it's not going to be covered. And the reason for is, state laws in place like that. And also if if we didn't know about it or didn't have any prior notice, we were not negligent. So I think that one of the best things that has happened with the city is the 311. I get a lot of the calls, they'll send them my way. And that has been, I think that's been very helpful for the public to get that, out there and let us know about it. Because if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So
Totally understand. And we had Deborah Click on Lesson 29. She is one of the voices of 311. So I know she gets those calls.
I'm a Deborah fan.
So
yes.
y'all kind of coordinate and talk
we do.
a lot.
Yep. We email. She emails me tickets that she thinks may go to me or I could help that citizen with. And so then when I have say claims and stuff, I'll get back with her and I'll give her like an address or an area, street. I'm like, hey, can you search this and see if anybody else has called in about this? So I try my best to, figure out and make sure we didn't have any prior notice. So I may go with 2 different departments just to cover my bases and make sure, because I want to be as fair as possible.
Right.
The thing about it is I do work for the city, but I do work for the taxpayers as well. So I have to be, really, equal there.
So either get messages or just hear around town. Oh, the city, I ran over this pothole and messed up my front end. The city needs to pay for it. This, that, and other, as my mom would say. What is the process of that? We hear, well, if we don't know about it, we can't do it. If we hear about it, then what? So what's kind of the process?
Yeah, if they want to file a claim, they can go into the city's website under risk management. There's citizen resources. It's a fillable form, and you can go on there and you can fill out your the form and send it to me, and I'll be glad to send it to the city's insurance company. But if we didn't have any prior notice, chances are it's not going to be covered. And this is what I find is people that when they do hit a pothole, I find out that they've went by that pothole every day for a month and have avoided it. But the one day they hit it is when they call us and tell us about it.
So that person who hits that pothole the first time, it's recommended just go ahead and report it to 311?
Yes, please report it because we need to know about it so we can get it fixed so you don't hit it a second time. But we do have to have some timely, in there to get out there and get it repaired. The pothole crew are a great bunch of people, and they go out every day with a list from 311 or maybe a list that was just called in from me or the street department. And but whenever I call them about a citizen's hit something, they are right out there, and they will take me before and after pictures of that pothole so that I can show to the insurance and then, look to see if there's any prior notice.
So it's a good accountability thing across the board.
It is.
So prior to 311, what did you have or what did the city have in place?
Well, really all we would have is if they did call like over at Public Works building, but the thing about it, who'd they talk to? Did they talk to the street department or did they get somebody in H&S? So, that's why I think the 311 is so important so that we can keep all that in one place.
So we covered potholes, but there are other things that there are public buildings, there's of course sidewalks, and we have a street department who handles, cutting grass and things like that. What other types of claims do you hear about other than just? I know it's not just potholes.
No, it's not. It's not. Sometimes we'll have, of course, groundskeeping and street both are out. They're mowing and weed eating and stuff, and sometimes they'll have accidents, and believe me, I'll hear about it. So. I'll get the calls, but that's just part of, their job and stuff. And so we try to be as careful as we can. The tractors, we have chains on those so that when they're out mowing, in hopes that there's no rocks thrown, this, that, and the other. But accidents do happen, and I'm the person that they call.
So there was one incident, you of course, you handle public-related things as well as internally. If one of our vehicles, slips on some ice or something, or somebody hits our vehicle, There's one incident that was in the news, so it's public. People know about it. One of our, I guess, mowers tipped over. Is that
Yes.
something that it handled in your office?
Yes, that's me. Yes.
So when something like that happens, what's
Well, the tractor did, slip down the hill and did turn over. And so our first concern is that employee. Is that employee okay? And of course, the OJIs come through our office too. So we're going to look at that. That goes to the safety manager, and he takes that. And if there's a form filled out, and so he'll follow through with the employee on that. But as far as the damage to the tractor, then I'm going to ask that department to do me a accident incident report, and they're going to take me some pictures of the tractor. I'm going to look up that piece of equipment on my property schedule, see, what all coverage we have available for it. And then I'm going to get with our insurance company and see about, getting some insurance recovery money to help for repairs, or if it's totaled out, to maybe get maybe it's in stated value, and I'll get that. So
in the 20 years, you don't have to go into specifics of, certain departments that may have had more than others, but in the 20 years, have there been, of course, some no fault of our own, some may have been some negligent, but how much paperwork comes across your desk? Of course, in the 20 years, like,
oh goodness,
we could stack a room. Which room?
Well, I average anywhere from months vary. Around the holidays, it's not as much, and I contribute that to the employees are on vacations. But other than that, I would say like on an average, I'll have anywhere from say 15 to 25 claims a month that I'm dealing with.
So day to day, when the process of start to finish, like what does that look like? From the
Got
public
you.
side and from the internal?
Yeah, there's some claims that, they may be open for over a month, with stuff that's going on with them, things you're waiting on. There may be supplements to those repairs, so that claim is still open. Like I got a check in today, and it was for a supplement. That means like when they take that vehicle or a piece of equipment to the body shop, they tear it down, they're going to find more damage. And so therefore, I got to go back to the table and say, hey, it looks like we need another $1,500 to make this, repair complete. So, some claims are open for a month or more.
And so claims are open, and then I guess again, what the process of I hit a pothole, or a rock chipped my glass. Let me start with the rock chipping my glass. How do you know, I guess, that the person is truthfully know that the city is the reason?
Yes.
I'm parked somewhere, I see that they're cutting grass,
Right.
I come back out on a rock chip.
Right. So, for example, yesterday, I won't name any names, but a gentleman called. He works in a building downtown, and he said that they were out there weed eating, on the sidewalk, and his window got knocked out of his car. And he actually had a Ring camera, and he sent me the link to that. Of course, I couldn't tell a whole lot. The person had looked like a safety vest, but still, we have a lot of people downtown, landscapers and whatnot. So what I have to do is, I'll start with groundskeeping and street, and I'll call their supervisors, and they all have it documented where they are each day. Right. So that's easy enough to find out. Okay. And so I did find out that, it was, like some people that were down there weed eating from the street department. And then with the video, it made it really good because his supervisor saw it and knew exactly his name and everything. So I called the guy back and I said, yep, you're right. And I emailed him a claims form. Like I was telling you, they can get off the website, and he's going to fill that out and submit, his estimate and whatnot. And then I'll take it from there and get him taken care of.
Get it taken care of. So what are the benefits of having a risk management department, and specifically your role in taking care of public related incidents?
Well, I mean, I think that the risk management department plays a vital role in the city as far as protecting the city assets, making it safe for citizens, making recommendations to departments when we see things that we think could be done better and would be safer for employees and citizens. So I think that's it's really important.
And for you specifically, your role, how important is it for you to be in a role like yours?
Well, I think it takes somebody that really, really cares. I think you got to really care and be in it, be in the game, and you got to be able to work with all the departments because each department. I touch each department. There's somebody somewhere that I'm going to have to ask something, get some information, and and I think that's real important that we all work together. And I do say a lot of times, we may all work for different departments, but we all work for the same team. So
We all might work for different departments, but we all work for the same team. I mean, it's a great way to put it. We all work for the citizens, including me. Getting the information out there.
right,
So,
right.
in a nutshell, what advice would you give to residents who, either want to learn more about how to do these things, or, if something does happen and they don't know, what advice would you give to them to either reaching out to you all or?
Well, I would suggest, first, get on the city's website. It has a lot of good information on it. They can look at the different departments, how the city works, and I think that's a lot of it. Citizens, sometimes whenever they call, they don't really realize how things work, with city government. And I think getting on the website and just sort of educating yourself. You can go to our website. It's got some good information, and you'll be able to see what you need to, do and whatnot. And our numbers are on there, and you can always call us. I mean, that's what we're here for. Call us. We'll walk you through whatever. So,
Melissa Gordon, Claims Manager in the Risk Management Department for the City of Jackson. Thank you again for coming on to East Main 101. I've been here 6 years. It's been 6 years in August, and I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot of things that you hear because you have this specific thing in your office that you hear a lot of stuff.
It does end up coming my way.
And
yes.
I mean, everything related to, again, working in the public, working with the people. Like you say, you got to have a heart for it because you deal with the people of, the residents, the taxpayers. You have to be someone who has a heart for that and a heart for them because you're hearing, as you said, somebody who's inconvenienced, their windows busted, or their tire got blown out because they saw something fall off the back of a city truck or something like that, or somebody slip and fall.
Exactly, got to have some compassion.
And you do, and I appreciate you for just letting me walk in your office and just plop down on that chair and just vent for certain stuff.
I love it.
You've got a good view of downtown from your office, so you hear it all, you see it all, and again, I appreciate you for coming on and taking this time to talk to me and talk to the public about what you do.
Thank you, and thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So
thank you.
So before we go, of course, I always do what we call pop quiz.
Okay.
Pop quiz, 3 questions that I ask my guests, just kind of get to know a little bit more about them. So pop quiz question number 1 is you mentioned insurance recovery. The 20 years you've been here, I've gone to city council meetings and I hear about the insurance recovery things. Something new to me. What's the largest amount you've ever recovered for the city in insurance recovery?
Well, that's very, I will never forget that. The largest one, and I can't remember what year it was, but the North Tower, communication with the police radios and all that, lightning struck it, and it was down. We were down to, they were using portable radios.
Wow.
Yes. So That went on for a little while and doing some negotiating and whatnot. And so I think a new tower was going to be something like, don't quote me, but 4.2 million. And I negotiated 3.9 million in insurance recovery to help with that.
Nice. Well, so the North, that's, like you said, it's communication for police, fire, just so they can continue to work.
Yes.
So were they, you say they were using portable, were they down for? Did it hinder any of their work?
It probably did. I know there was a lot of disruption during that time.
Okay.
And so it was just, it was just great when that new tower was, fixed and ready to go and no more worries about that. So.
Awesome. All right. Pop quiz question number 2. You mentioned family, husband, children, grandchildren. When you travel, if you travel, what is your favorite place to go?
Probably in the last, say, 10 years, my favorite place is to go to Gulf Shores, and, just some beach time. We like to go if they've got some festivals going. That's always fun, hitting the food trucks or listening to some live bands and, just to kind of get away for just a little while.
Nothing, we love Jackson, but nothing like getting away. Gulf Shores, we take a trip to Orange Beach every year. That is one of our favorite places to go.
It is.
For us, it's just sand, water. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
we go eat, go to the beach.
Just disconnect.
And that is one thing. As a communications director, disconnecting is one thing that I look forward to. Of course, I love doing what I do, but sometimes I just gotta.
You need it.
I don't need social media. I've been on it for so long. I remember, MySpace, and just I tell myself maybe if I hadn't gotten on it, I wouldn't even be on social media now. But with what I do, I stay connected, but it's okay to disconnect.
That's right.
It's a good way to recharge.
It sure is.
All right, pop quiz question number 3. In the 20 years that you've been with the city, what's been your proudest moment? What thing do you just remember the most that you think about and you smile about?
Well, I think if I had to, my proudest moment is probably really it's my coworkers. I'm just so proud to get to work with, people like, we have. And, it's when you come to work and you don't mind coming to work because you look forward to the people that you work with because, there's such a good group to work with and, you included. I mean, it just makes a big difference. And so it makes me proud that, I work somewhere that I get to enjoy that, because everybody doesn't get to go to work and enjoy, that environment. So
that's true. What they say, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That's right.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Now, we're working. We work for the tax. We work.
Right.
But we love what we do.
That's right.
And we enjoy coming here every single day. Claims manager in the risk management department, Melissa Gordon, again, thank you for coming on East Main 101, telling your story, telling us what you do and what risk management is all about. So that does it for lesson 30 of East Main 101. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media channels, social media accounts, and opt into our text alerts by visiting connect.jacksontn.gov. And be sure to visit eastmain101.jacksontn.gov to subscribe to our YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast channels to listen to each of our lessons in their entirety. But until next lesson, class dismissed.